Welcome everyone, my name is Milena and today I'm going to present my midterm project for Adrian Wheeler's spreadsheet application in business class. And my presentation is focused on the importance of credit score and the credit card industry analysis. As we know, having a good credit score is important for many reasons. First and most important is that having a right credit score determines whether a person qualifies for the loan. It also may be used to help decide the terms you are offered or the rate you will pay for the loan. As we know, the higher the score, the lower the interest rate a person gets from a bank on loans like buying a house or a car. Other factors that credit score might be used for are, for example, employers may use your credit report to decide whether to hire you or not. Telephone companies may use information in your credit report to decide whether to provide services to you. And very often, landlords may use the information to determine whether to rent an apartment to you, whether you are a reliable person and you will be able to pay on a monthly basis. So as we can see that maintaining a good credit score is important and it affects a person's life in many ways. And for my first chart, I evaluated all the states in the United States. And I compared the mortgage average credit score required for the applicants when they want to buy a house and the average credit score per person. And from the chart we can see that definitely the average credit score per person is lower than the average credit score required for the loan if you want to buy the house. And as to mention on the side, the good credit score it's above 700 points. As we can see from the chart, mostly it's always below 700, which is not a good sign. And also, like I chose those three states to compare because those are close. They are close to us, like New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. So New Jersey has the highest mortgage average credit score required, then it's New York, and Pennsylvania has 720. So for someone who doesn't have a good credit score and wants to buy a house, Pennsylvania would be the best option. And also using the slicers, we can see which state has the lowest mortgage credit score required, which will be Mississippi, and the highest it will be California. And surprisingly, what I found, I mean, like the mortgage average credit score is pretty high. However, the average credit score per person is it seems to be also very small. So where is that average low credit score coming from? There are many components of a credit score, like credit history length, credit inquiries, debt burden, or payment history. And one way to give a boost to a credit score is to reduce the balance carried on credit cards. And that brings me to my next chart, which it is a static chart. However, I did it for my presentation, and it shows us the average debt on credit cards per household. And in 2014, the average debt hold on credit cards per household is $7,000. However, if we only consider the families, the households that carry the actual debt, that amount rises to $15,000. And this number reflects the reality better. From the chart, we can see that credit card debt is holding pretty steady in recent years. Starting from 2011, we can see the pretty much straight line. Whether it's high or not, that can be only evaluated from the person's ability to pay that debt. But for me personally, $50,000 seems to be a lot of money as considered to be average for each household. And the fact that card debt is holding steady can be evaluated also in many ways. It can be a good sign or not. On one hand, the higher consumer spending puts the economy on a positive track. So the line, it is better if the line is going up. However, if wages do not rise and employment is going down, that might indicate that families are borrowing to make ends meet. So credit card debt reached its high in 2009 during the financial crisis, and from there average debt started to decrease, like we can see here, and stabilized in 2011. It is very important to point out that falling debt was largely due to defaults rather than repayment of the balances. So for my following charts, I decided to evaluate credit card industry and see which credit cards owns the most of that debt on the previous chart. So I created two charts. One is shows the number of credit cards issued in United States from 2000, 2010 and 2014. And the second one shows the credit card purchase volume by the type of credit card. And I just want to focus, I use the slicer right now to choose the 2014 because that's the year I want, is the most recent year I have in my data, and I want to focus on this one. It's easier to compare. So as we see, like for the credit cards issued in the United States, stores hold the biggest market share of all credit cards types. And we have different like Visa, American Express, MasterCard, Store, Discover, Oil Company, Miscellaneous, and the Total. The next one is Visa. American Express seems to have very small market share. And it's kind of obvious. I mean, like they are very selective when it comes to their customers. You need to have very, very good credit score in order to apply the credit card from American Express. However, if we look at the credit card purchase volume by the type of credit card, we can see that stores no longer hold that big market share. Visa is definitely the leader, and surprisingly, American Express is following Visa. Like we could see here, American Express was pretty small. However, the purchase volume by the type of credit card, American Express is the second one, which is a pretty huge market share when it comes to the volume purchase. And for my last chart, I calculated my own data. I used the number of credit cards issued and the number of credit card holders that I had from my source, and then I divided the number of credit cards by the number of credit cards holder, and that gave me the number of how many cards for each company a person holds on average. And this is only for 2014 because I wanted to compare with the credit card I hold. So on average, the store a person holds 3 cards for the store, 2 cards of MasterCard, Visa 2, American Express 1, Discover 1, Oil Company 1, the rest is like 1, 2, 3 miscellaneous. And I enter my credit cards. For stores I have 3, MasterCard I have 2, American Express I have 1, Visa I have 0, I have none. I forgot to mention that of course the I put it here, the note that card holders may hold more than one type of card. It's not necessary they hold all of them. And from the chart we can see that for each type of the credit card I'm below the average. However, when to compare to the total, I'm above the average. I have 7, whereas on average people hold like 6 cards. And the fact why it's like this, as I said, this data I used for my calculation by the base was from the source, and this total is calculated on the fact that, as I mentioned before, card holders may hold more than one, but not all of them. So on average they hold 6 cards. I have 7, so I definitely should decrease the amount of credit cards I hold. And that will be it for my presentation. I hope you find it interesting and you enjoy it. If you, for example, want to buy a house, you can use the first chart. And also if you want to see the credit card, which credit card is the leader in the industry and how our debt is spread among the different credit card companies, you might feel free to use my charts. Thank you so much.